Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world. Everywhere there's going to be a clip of this going live and in charge. I'm just checking some connections real fast. But welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you all are doing great out there, doing well. And once this slowly, oh, well, it's showing some output going on right now. So there we go. Boom, look at that. We can actually go live over here. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Again, I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson, where we talk about horror movies, sci-fi movies, comic books, comic book artwork, my comic books, my comic book artwork, all that goody good stuff. So welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. So today's topic is going to be inspiration. Who is your inspiration out there? Who brings you inspiration? You know, inspiration can come from all sorts of different things, different places, different people. Who is your inspiration? Good morning, Casey. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Happy to see you here, as usual. Excuse me. So, we're going to be talking about inspiration today. And who inspires you to do what you do? Me, my inspiration comes from all over the place. Grandfather was a great inspiration as a father figure. And then when it comes to the art side of things, many people come into play. Um, the list would be almost too long to put out there, but just to name a few: Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Ja Lee, Joe Jusko, Stephen Hughes, Guy Gilchrist, Art Nichols, uh, Ditko, Kirby, Stan Lee. I mean, the list goes on and on for inspiration out there when it comes to who inspires me to do what I do when it comes to the artwork field. And with all of that, who inspires you? Oh, yes. So sorry. I forget. I wish they would just turn that off. I don't even know why they've got it on. What up, Dennis? Welcome to the show. Good to see everybody. Some of my regulars coming in. Well, thank you. It's my artwork, Jenna. You can order one of these if you'd like. You can hit me up in the DM section. I have it in yellow or black or whatever color you really want it on. Whatever kind of makes you look good out there, Clarice. Just kidding. So, we're talking about inspiration today. But yeah, if you'd like to get one of these, I have many different shirts available. I've got a whole slew of shirts. This is my number one top seller shirt right here. My second Joker painting. Thank you. Somebody suggests that I put that on display back in the back. The James O'Barr isn't mine, but it is an original piece that I purchased from James O'Barr with a little note in that yellow tab right there that you can see right there, talking about how nobody buys nice girl art anymore. And even my ex mother in law thought it was soft corn, if you will. But but yeah, Jenna, you can get one of these or any of my other shirts, and I can show you what other shirts I've got if you just send me a DM. And if you're interested in any of those. So, what's your inspiration? Who is your inspiration? How do you get your inspiration? Because my inspiration comes from everything. With a semi-creative mind like mine, um, you end up pulling inspiration from all kinds of different things. I mean, I even pull inspiration from, you know, a thumb drive because you've got instant spaceship in here, all that goody good stuff. And it's just like if you look at, some of the original inspirations for like, Star Trek and Star Wars and all that good stuff, where they took basically disposable razor pieces and created, like the wings of of the Starship Enterprise and different things like that in the beginning, because they didn't think the concept was going to take off, all that good stuff. But don't forget to like, share, and follow while you're here, and get your friends involved over this direction, and that way they can hear some inspiration. But then, you know, inspiration just doesn't come into the artwork field. It, like I said, um, people have their musical inspirations. People have their acting inspirations, especially those people that aspire to be actors on a regular basis. Now, I do not aspire to be an actor on a regular basis. I like acting. It's not horrible, if you will. I've been in a few movies, like I've said, and this voice acting gig is taking off a little bit more and more, so that's fun. So I am a voice actor uh, as well as doing illustrations and paintings and all kinds of different things. I'm about a little over halfway done with this 8-page comic book that I'm working on. I've got 3 pages left to pencil in, and then I've got to go back in and tighten up everything. Everything's kind of loose just right now, and I can't technically show it to you now. The owner of the work is putting it out there a little bit at a time, so you can see that if you go to legacycomics.com or Legacy Comics on any of social medias out there, and you'll be able to see some of the work that's happening right now for this book. Now, 8 pages doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But when you're not a complete sequential artist when it comes to all that, it goes a little slower. But that's okay. We've got some time for this book, and so I'm pulling inspiration from many different places while I'm channeling this book. You know, uh, just because that's what you want to do. Now it is in a Frank Miller style, so it's heavy on the blacks and black and white contrast. So that's a pretty awesome little thing. So, where does your inspiration come from for what you do or what you collect? You know, because collecting can be an inspirational piece as well. So, like I said, to begin with, my grandfather, great inspiration to me as a father figure out there. Um, just because I wasn't too keen on my stepfather, if you will, when he came into the picture. Yeah, I was young when it happened, but I still wasn't calling him dad or anything like that. Um, and yeah, my dad was still in the picture for a short bit as he would come get us for, the different every other weekend slots or, those type things. And so I can't really say my own dad was a father figure. Not something you wanted to look up to, 100%. And so that's where my grandfather came in because he took that father figure role, taught me a lot, when it came to fishing, gardening, just life in general. Um, Taught me how to drive, so that was a huge inspiration. And it it's just one of those things that you look back on and you take things for granted as you're growing up. And it's not like you wanted to, but you're a young punk kid, and yeah, you still love these people, but you didn't tell them as much, because I'm a dude, I'm a kid, I've got other things to do, like be outside, those type things. So on that note, tell people that you love them on a regular basis, just because we don't know what tomorrow holds. So, who is your inspiration? Let's get some feedback. Give me your inspirations. I've given you some of mine when it comes to the artwork side of things. Paranormal side of things, that's a little bit of a gamut because you you got people that aren't trustworthy in the industry when it comes to paranormal side. And, it's just one of those things. So, I like the more authentic people out there, not the big YouTubers or, you know, things of that nature, just because those get to be on the as fake as you can get side sometimes. And so you have to discern who's being authentic and who's not. And sometimes that can be a little bit on the hard side to figure out, especially with all the technology right here on your own phone, you And from there, you can create your own spooks and haunts just off your own phone, just with the edits that you can do and so on and so forth. I saw somebody do it, on her new iPhone, and she was encountering a spirit that was behind a door, and she was the one that was behind the door, and she even showed how she did it, you know. And so, it's just those things that things can you can be tricked into things, you know. Well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. That's an inspiration. Animals can be inspirations as well. So there's nothing weird about that. People look up to animals. That's why you have furries out there, you know. And that's a whole different conversation in and of itself too, when it comes down to furries. Well, welcome to the broadcast, Annette. How are you doing today? Hopefully things are right in the ship over there, you know. Let's see here. We do not talk politics here, Joe, so you can go find another broadcast channel for that and enjoy your day. Those are the two things we don't talk about here. No, it's fine, Joe. We don't talk about politics and we don't talk about religion, because once we do that, people start losing their damn minds. So, oh, well, cool, Casey. I appreciate that. Um, Casey just said you inspire me to live my dreams. And, like I said, inspiration comes in different ways. And on that note, I know how I was not inspired to live my dreams. So when people tell me that they have dreams and they want to do different things, I tell them to grab the bull by the horns and go for it. Because if you don't, and you live someone else's dreams like I had for so long, I mean, from the age of 17 until just what, almost 4 years ago now, I was living somebody else's dream. I was not living my own dream. I wasn't investing in myself, you know. And good morning, Annette, again. Welcome to the show. Who is your inspirations? That's what we want to know. Who inspires you? And so if I can encourage anybody to do their own thing, I am a veteran, a disabled veteran at that. Um, if I can encourage anybody to live their dream, then I would say go for it. Joe, you're about to be gone. 100%. Elvis inspired me a lot to play better music. See, that's awesome. And there you go. And so, you know, with all of that, like I said, inspiration comes from many different forms. And 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 Joe is gone because Joe is being an idiot. And I'm sure he'll come on with another. I'm sure he'll come on with another profile and try to attack the show again. So, um, Yes, absolutely, 100%. Because if that's an inspiration. Whenever Elvis tells you to continue to play, you know, um, that's a huge inspiration. It's just like whenever I have some skate decks that I haven't finished yet, but I used to take them to comic book conventions on a regular basis. They were Kiss skate decks. I had two of them finished, and um, C. Thomas Howell walked by and stopped, came over to my booth, and was like, "Dude, it would be a shame to see somebody grind on that awesome artwork that you've got there." And he admired the Kiss skate decks because I had Gene Simmons and I had um, thank you for the donut. It'll be tasty later. Um, I had Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley finished, and they were there, in their bling, and Gene Simmons glowed in the dark with all the fire behind him and all that good stuff. And then, of course, Paul Stanley had the silver chains that were actually attached to the piece, and then bling on his uniform or his outfit, not uniform, but all that good stuff. And so, have a great day. You got to go. We'll see you later, I'm sure. And but thank you for stopping in. Always a pleasure. And so, for him to say that was a huge inspiration. And I've had several other artists stop, or not artists. Well, I've had other artists stop in, but I've also had plenty of other um, stars, if you will, stop in and check out the booth, talk to me in person about different pieces of my artwork, and how a friend of theirs would like this, a friend of theirs would like this, and so you end up working out a deal with them, because they are the celebrities that people are there to see, you know, and but it's always fun um, whenever people do stop in of that caliber, because these are the people that you watch on the big screen and go to the movies to see and things of that nature. But for them to stop and chit chat with you at your table, or even come into the table spot with you, that's always fun. So, so who inspires you? Who is your biggest inspirations out there? But like I was saying, if I can encourage people to live their dream and not live other people's dreams and put money into other people's pockets and put more money into your own pocket, then please, by all means, do so. It can be scary when you get out on your own, and you know you get out there, and it's just like, okay, where's the money coming from? How am I going to pay this? How am I going to do that? Those type things. And it's just like, well, if you have a game plan and you have some money set aside, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. All those good things. So, but welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson, and you can tell us who is your biggest inspiration out there. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. And if you go up here, you can follow my other socials on my website, which is 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson out there. And once you hit the website, you'll be able to see all my other ones, my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, and of course, you're here on TikTok with us now, which we appreciate 100%. I will be painting up a shirt pretty soon with your mean one, Mr. Grinch. You got termites in your smile. So, yes, I'm putting the Grinch on that for a friend of ours. So, that's another painting that I'll be doing. Let's see here. I was talking to another art friend of mine who had posted a meme that said, you know, current art projects new art projects coming to mind, new art projects in works, you know, and basically saying you've left all these other ones. And I was like, yeah, I just found, six unfinished painting, or I've got six unfinished paintings sitting here while I'm working on other projects, and I'd like to be getting on those projects so I can get new shirts made up of those pieces, you know. And it's just one thing at a time. You can. I mean, now if I was truly ambidextrous, which I am not, I could be drawing over here, painting over here, and keeping everything going, and it'd be like, oh, look, I'm drawing here, I'm painting here. It just doesn't work that way for me. Now I see those people that are truly ambidextrous, and they're sitting there drawing both sides of the picture at the same time with both hands with two pencils, and it's just like Jiminy Christmas, you know. And so, who inspires you? Yes, an elephant is eaten a bite at a time. Yeah, but I've had some of these projects for far too long. Like these two projects right here, I need to get them colored up and gone. 100%. Is that upside down? It is upside down. Those two projects need to be gone. I got to get them colored in. I'll use a touch of watercolor with a lot of marker, and then I've got to get my painting started so I can get those going. I got to get this project finished so I can get it to him so he can start doing his thing with it, putting the lettering to it, getting it the way he wants it, so on and so forth. It's just a little piece, like you said, a piece at a time. And but it's fun. It keeps me young, if you will. Keeps me semi out of trouble a little bit, not 100%, but So, who inspires you out there? Who is your biggest inspirations when it comes to different things? We've got Elvis for Casey out there. Mine comes in the form of my grandfather first, and then on the art side, it comes to many different people. Just because you look up to those artists. Now, you don't look up. You look up to the art, not the artist itself, because sometimes the artist is a piece of work, and so you can only look at the artwork itself, not the artist, um, because things come to light, about different people as years go by, and scandals come out, and so on and so forth. And so, you know, there you go with that. So, who is your inspirations out there? Who inspires you to do what you do? Not do, but Roy probably won't be with us this morning. He has a doctor's appointment today, which I will be gracing his presence as I will be taking him to that appointment, as we have his car. His sister wrecked his car, and she's not offering to help pay for it, so we're in the process of finding a oil pan for it since she blew it out on a curb, it looks like, but she's saying that she was sideswiped by somebody else, but a sideswipe wouldn't technically put you over a curb and then you leave the scene of the accident and call the police from the house. So the whole story didn't make sense. But have you seen G.W. Bush paintings? He does faces mainly. I saw. I've seen a few of them. I actually have his autograph and a picture with him. I've got to find that picture. It's here somewhere. I met him when I was still working at Wally World. Got to hang with his Secret Service while people were coming in and getting autographs of his 42 about his dad. And um, and so it was pretty cool. It was interesting, to say the least. George W. Wasn't be prudent. So, and he could be an inspiration to people, but then you've got the other side that they're like, well, he's not an inspiration to me, and that's why we don't talk politics. And I know that's not politics talking about his artwork and things like that, but people still don't like it just because of who did it, you know. And it would be like, oh, what's that Hollywood guy? Well, there's plenty of them now, and more about to come out. Nah, I can't remember what his name is, but they did a whole documentary TV show or documentary show on it, about the guy uh, that did. See, I can't even think. It's been too long ago since I watched it, and it's a relatively newer show. I'm just gonna leave it alone because I can't remember. But anyway, um, who inspires you? Who is your biggest inspiration? See, James O'Barr is a huge inspiration because this piece right here called Tiny Dancer. Um, it is of a ballerina, you know, checking herself to make sure she's good before she performs. Or maybe she's just performed. I don't know. You tell the story. And he's a huge inspiration, especially through the tragic loss that he had to, um, do what he did whenever he wrote The Crow, and based on the tragedy in his own life. And so he had inspiration, to do what he did. And yeah, it was a painful inspiration, but sometimes, what do they say? Beauty is pain, princess. And so, you know, and then talking about sci-fi movies or horror movies, who was the inspiration there? Ramiro, Raimi, Wes Craven. I mean, you know, so the list goes on and on when it comes to horror movies. Um, Guillermo del Toro, you know, does a lot of great movies. I wish he would do more English stuff sometimes, but there is a good one out there. I just watched it a couple days ago. Don't ask me the name of it. It's on. I can't even tell you what it's on, but I think it's on Hulu. I could be wrong on that, but it's either Hulu or Prime. It's a black and white. It's got Ralph Fiennes in it. It's got Willem Dafoe. I mean, it's got a lot of cool people. Who did the box? Which box? The beatbox? Who did it better? What's in the box? Pulling some seven out right there. When he actually broke his hand from hitting the window. Broke his pinky area right here. So what box? Who did the box? It was a horror about keeping someone with the head in the box. That one I'd have to look up because I don't remember that. Because there was seven heads in a duffel bag with Pesci. Um, are you talking about? No, that was the gift. That was something totally different. Give me just a second, because that one is puzzling to me. I've probably seen it and just can't remember. So give me just un momento, por favor. There, They were alive in a box, only the head in a box. Okay, let's look that up. The Thing That Couldn't Die from 1958, Reanimator 1985, The Box 2018. Uh, Now you've got Other Side of the Box, which was a short film in 2018. So The Thing That Couldn't Die from 1958. A psychically gifted young woman discovers a crate containing the living head of a 16th century Melville worshipper. The Box 2009, a couple is given a mysterious box by a stranger, which will provide them with a large sum of money if they push a button, but also cause the death of a person they do not know, which isn't that. The Other Side of the Box, a short film where a couple receives a mysterious box in the mail that contains a severed head. And then Reanimator, a medical student, brings his deceased girlfriend back to life, but her head remains sentient after being decapitated. So, those are the ones that have that, but it could be something completely different. It might not even be one of the ones that you're thinking of. There's one called Head in a Box, with the FBI agent Clarence finds a severed human head in a box when they're hunting for a serial killer. But those are the only ones I can find that have a. Or there's The Head from 1959. There's one that has Vincent Price's severed head in a box, The Brain That Wouldn't Die, 1962. It's a Head in a Box, 1982. Yeah, that's about it. I can't find anything other than those ones right there that have a living head in a box. So that's, I mean, I've seen most of those that are mentioned there, except for a few of them. Because The Thing That Couldn't Die, I've seen that one. The Box, I've seen that one. The Other Side, I haven't seen that one because it's a short film. No, you're fine. Because someone was inspired to create that. The Reanimator I've seen, and Seven I've seen. You know, but of course, in Seven, her head was not alive. But no sorries. It's not a derailing. It's just a learning more moment. And because, as I say, your mind is only as big as you want it to be, and that's new knowledge. So it goes in there. I will remember it for next time when someone asks, "Do you ever remember seeing a movie that has a head in a box that's still alive?" Why, yes, I can name you a few. And, you know, I'll probably forget the dates and I'll probably forget the full title and things like that. But, it'll be there. Little bits and pieces of it. And so, you know, those were inspired by someone as well or something. You know, it's just like movies that were inspired by true serial killers of the day, um, because everything is an inspiration from something. Everything was created by something else. So, it makes it sometimes there's no originals out there. So, that's what we're talking about today. Who is your inspiration for what you do? Be it the job you have now, be it the music you listen to, be it the art you go to at different you know museums, things of that nature. Who inspires you, and why did it inspire you? Because I wanted to be inspired because of the people telling me that I couldn't. You know, and that was most of my life, from my stepfather to my second ex-wife, and so on. You know, lots of people were doubters when it came to the abilities that I do have. And so, it's just like you want to prove people wrong 100%, especially whenever they're throwing doubt in your face. Unless you're just a straight up yes person. And yes, the word inspire. To inspire is in spirit, in root word. If you go to the dictionary, yes. Yes. 100%. And there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people don't know that, though. And there's the us in it. In spirit, us. So, there is a whole different element to that when you think about it like that. And that's when you look at the realm of the differences when it comes to all of those goody good stuff. Um, when it breaks it all down into that, the inspiritus, the original root word, is that Latin or Greek when it comes to that? Because they ain't English. So, who inspires you? Give us your story about what you do. What do you do out there? We've got Casey, who's a musician out there. Latin root, Latin lingo, like Rico, suave. I'm not all that, but I inspire myself sometimes. Dude, just stop putting yourself down. You're great. You're awesome. You do a great work when it comes to your music talents with all the knowledge that you have, and can pick up a beat and tell people what it is, and what uh, note it's in and all that good stuff. You know, you do awesome work. Oh, and the girlfriend does have a request: Jurassic Park theme song. She'd like to hear that one played. I wish she would get back to her guitar, and start playing her guitar some more because she was good. I really don't know. I have no clue what the Jurassic Park. Hold on, I can tell you right here. Pull that out of the way. I guess it's just called theme from Jurassic Park. I don't know if I'll be able to hear it or not. But it was done by John Williams from 1993, I believe. Yeah, I believe that's it. But it's cool. I'm pretty sure it's just the theme from Jurassic Park by John Williams. But I just sang it to you. You can't get it from that? Ah. But yeah, it's you can find it on Spotify. John Williams theme from Jurassic Park. I don't think those are plugged in, if I remember right. They're not on. I have speakers over there, but they're not on. And they're way the freak over there in my corner, and I can't get to them. Or I'd play the theme song for you. Oh, cool. She'll like that. And mucho apreciado, my friend. Hi. Rebirth. Welcome to the show. FNO. How's it going out there? Who inspires you? What's your inspiration for what you do in life? What you collect, what you work on, where you go to work. I don't know. That's what we're talking about. Inspiration. Who inspires you to do what you do? Me being an illustrator, a voice actor, an actor, all that goody good stuff. I have lots of inspirations. Now, number one was my grandfather, being a father figure, and he was my greatest inspiration. And that's where it all started, was with him. And they don't know. Okay, cool. I mean, that's an honest answer. If you don't know, you don't know. And then when it comes to my artwork, what you're seeing on my shirt right here, it all comes down to many different people. I mean, from Stan Lee to being a writer and his creative mind for creating all these characters, and then Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Alex Ross, Art Nichols, Joe Jusko, Stephen Hughes, Brian Pulido, Jim Lee, Jolly, Ken Hunt. I mean, the list goes on and on to people that I have around me that inspire me. Rags Morales, in the art field, you know. And then when it comes to acting side, many people I can look up to there. Uh, but then you also want to look at their character of the person, and then it's like, well, I can't look up to you anymore because of what we just found out. Those type things. So And it's in the comic industry as well. It's not just in the artwork industry or the celebrity industry of people you see on TV on a regular basis. So you know. So what is going on out there? Who inspires you? For those of you that are here, who inspires you? That's what today's topic is on. Last week, or a couple days ago, we talked about the holy grails in your collection and stuff like that. And I was still trying to locate some of the books that I was wanting to show, but I can't get to them yet because I, unfortunately, um, the pigs like to get a hold of the old leather stuff and some of the older books and try to rip them apart. So I've got to keep it blocked off right now until I can come up with something else, either some glass front cases or something like that to keep them protected from the animals, including the dogs. So we have a puppy. He's not even a year old yet, who still thinks everything's a chew toy. Um, and so anything that he can get, he will chew on it. You know, we're trying to break him of that habit. And we're getting closer and closer on a regular basis because he will drop stuff whenever he gets found out, you know. And he's a cute pupper, but he's about 70 pounds as a pupper. Again, he's not even a year old yet. And so he's still got some growing to do. So just imagine a 90-pound mutt, you know, running around. He's a border collie and a golden retriever mix. So he's got some beautiful color in him, some very brindle ish color. But his inspiration is basically his mom, Phoenix, the dog, our rescue dog. And, you know, he terrorizes her to death because he's wanting to play constantly. And she's not always in the mood to play. She's older, you know. And, but once they play hard, you know. It is. It is 100%. But that's why they have it because that's the opening scene whenever you're starting to see all the dinosaurs for the first time. You know, and then it builds into your crescendos and all that good stuff as it goes on. But yes, it is a slow um, build up in the beginning. There's some crashing of cymbals and everything else going on. So yeah, and you wonder where the inspiration of that song came from for the movie. Was it there already, and it just needed to be put to a movie, or were they just like, "All right, I'll tell her. It's okay, nothing to be sorry about." It is a very slow build up. You could always up tempo it, make it faster, make it a jazz tune. You know, something like that. Smooth jazz. It's very traumatizing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it's traumatizing. Um, but there are a lot of songs that are traumatizing out there. And some of them are what people call the hits of today. Very traumatizing. It's like, you actually listen to this shit? Well, I'm sorry that it was hurtful. It was not meant to be painful for you in any way, shape, or form. We do not want to cause our listeners harm here. Good movies. Music sucks sometimes, you know. It's just that she's a dinosaur person, so she was like, "Well, how about that song?" I was like, "Okay, we'll see what we can do." I'll just let her know it's not feasible in the chords. And so it's all good. But no, inspiration comes from everywhere. Everywhere. Thoughts on the Eagles Cowboys game? Cowboys win 32-24. It's going to be tough in the trenches, you know. I mean, they're starting to slump, the Eagles are. And that's just my thought. We almost had them at their house without a lot of our starters to start the season. And yes, they lost Jalen Carter. Big whoop. Everybody's like, well, Dak's afraid of him. Everybody's afraid of him because they can't block him. Just like he's just one factor. One person isn't going to make or break the team. You know, it's a team effort. It's not a one person effort. Yes, he's got a lot of other cool stuff. Well, Pickens and Lamb. I know Lamb had a low game uh, last week. Yes, I know it was against the Raiders, but they still have a good defense. Um, but yeah, Lamb and Pickens are going to light them up, especially now that we've got some healthy options coming back to the offensive line as well, and we're almost at full strength. You know, yes, I know the hip little thing that Dak's dealing with. Everybody's like, oh, he's just already starting the excuses for why they're going to lose to the Eagles, blah blah blah, and it's just like, shut up. He got banged up during that game, and so he'll be fine, and he's going to light up your Eagles. So there you go. But yes, Williams does have a lot of awesome stuff when it comes to his musical talents out there. Yep, 100%. I agree with that one. And oh, what the hell is his name? Not football related, music related. Uh, crap. I was looking him up just the other day too. Yes, the defense looks a lot better with the addition of Williams in there. I can't say so much with Logan in there, but Logan Wilson, but they didn't look bad with him in there as well. Um, no, I can't say he's a newer one. He's older and he's done a lot of soundtracks. Um, and it's not Danny Elfman. What is his name? He's on tour right now. I can't think of what his name is right now. Yeah, everybody did great on defense this time around. Even Bland stepped up, and then Revel Jr. He looked awesome out there. What is his name? It's gonna drive me nuts because the girlfriend actually wants to go see him. And I'm thinking about just biting the bullet on his tickets. But shh. Um, but he's getting ready to start a European tour, so that's going to be out of the question for a little bit. Uh, he is a musician. He's a composer, and he's on tour right now. He is actually in. He was in like Texas. No, 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 no. Definitely not that name. Uh, I won't even give that props on that one. Let's see. No, he's a composer. He's not hip hop or Latino or anything like that. He's an older white guy, but great composer. God, what is his name? It's gonna drive me nuts. Like I said, he's on tour right now. I just look. No, not John Test. It's it's like theatrical music type of stuff. Kind of like John Williams type stuff. Hans Zimmer. That's it. Hans Zimmer. That's who I was trying to think of. Yeah, he's already starting his European section of his tour. November 21st. Wow. Because he's in France right now. And then he's going to be back over here. It's a symphony orchestra. John Tess. I've probably heard of his stuff as well. Um, but yeah, he's about to kick off his whole European tour until 2026. So I don't know when I would be able to get some because the closest he's going to be in November, which I wouldn't be able to get tickets anyway because that's in a few days, is at the Kennedy Center in Washington D.C. You know, and so that one's out of the question for this year, but we'll see. You know, that's one of those big ticket items that you want to do. You know, because that's she likes Hans Zimmer music, symphonies, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of like the rock operas that they had back in the '70s, like Kiss's uh, "The Oath," music from the Elder, great album. The Who had one. Who else had some where they actually played with an orchestra? Ricky Horror or Rocky Horror? Yeah, we love Rocky Horror. That one's just a fun, campy one that's been around for a long time. And let's do the time warp again. Great stuff. But no, Kiss, music from the Elder, great album. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. Um, the Who had one with Tommy, I believe. uh, critics everywhere, man. Critics. Critics everywhere. But no, there's a lot of great music out there. And it's to each their own what they listen to and what they like. There's some stuff that the kids of today play that I can't, that the kids of today listen to that I'm like, there's something wrong with you. 100%. And then they think the same thing about the music that I listen to, you know, the classics, you know, now that they're all, everything in that from the 80s and 90s is considered classic now, you know, antique and old school. See, critics everywhere, man. Golly, can't live your life without critics. Uh, hey, I used to sing in the church choir, man. That's how good I was. And then my musical talents are unrivaled in the shower. Oh, But yeah. So who inspires you? If you're still here and you're still listening, if I didn't scare you away with my musical talents. So, who inspires you to do what you do? That's what today's topic has been about. Who inspires you? What do you like to do out there? Do you like to play music or do you just like to listen to music? And coffee inspires Casey this morning. He needs his coffee. But I understand that. I don't drink coffee at all. So, but I understand those that need that coffee to stay alive. It is their go go juice, it is their engine for the morning, it is their engine through the day. My grandparents could put away coffee like nobody's business. They had coffee from the time they woke up to the time they went to bed, basically. And straight black, none of this sugar and cream and all that fancy frou frou stuff that you put in it now. And no creamers, even no milk, no nothing, just straight black. And sometimes that pot sat on there and cooked, and so you had some spoon fed coffee going on, at that point in time. Some high octane stuff as it cooked through the day. So that was something to look forward to. High octane coffee. But yeah, a lot of people, that's what they do. They love their coffee. They drink it on a regular basis, and they get through their day or get through their morning until they find whatever they want, an energy drink or some kind of caffeine for the rest of the day. You know, just how it goes. What's your go-to drink out there? We know his is coffee. Mine is water or V8 Energy anymore. I'm about done with sodas again in my life because they do nothing for me, and they're starting to taste weird anyway. So, you know, some people, it's Crown Royal is their go-to drink of choice. Others, it could just be straight water on a regular basis. And then you got those that like to put in the flavorings in their water, you know. So, who inspires you? That's what today's topic is about. Who inspires you to do what you do? Bum, bum, bum. I never even checked. Oops, wrong one. I've got two mice right by each other. And da-da, right there. Okay. Casey, you got your coffee in hand? Are you drinking it all up? You're not saving any for the rest of the class? Because I'm not drinking it. What do you add to yours, Casey? Is it just straight coffee, straight black coffee? Or do you add stuff to yours? Sugars, creams, a little pumpkin spice latte? Black tea and coffee. Okay, cool. That's like my grandparents. Now theirs was Lipton iced tea when it came to the tea, and sun tea. My parents and my grandparents loved that sun tea. No sugar or cream. Okay, cool. That's how it was meant to be drank in the first place. None of these frou drinks that you see out there nowadays that everybody goes and pays their $8 or $10 for. And why are you paying that much for coffee in the first place? I can never understand it with my ex-wife. I gotta have my sweet bay. I gotta have my sweet bay. I hate sugar in a lot of things. I get that. The sugar really isn't good for you anyway. Even though you get the natural sugars out of your foods anyway, especially fruits and vegetables. So, but yeah, my ex-wife had to have her coffee on a regular basis. I just never understood it, why we had to spend that much money on a freaking coffee out there. I mean, yeah, Sweet Bay wasn't the most expensive place, but it was still pretty expensive. It was cheaper than Starbuckaroos, you know. And but yeah, somebody was inspired to make a coffee shop because everybody loves their coffee, you know. Not me though. Don't do the coffee. Never have. Never have liked it. Coffee has just been one of those drinks that my grandparents, my parents tried to get me to drink, but not my bag. Not my cup of tea, if you will. Because tea isn't there for me either. Now, my V8 Energy does have green tea in it, but you don't taste that tea aftertaste flavor that is out there. And I'll probably do me a cocoa here in a little bit because it is. Oh, it's actually pretty warm outside. Yeah, we're in practically almost record highs. You know, I don't like Dr Pepper or Pepsi. Well, I used to drink Dr Pepper all the time before my first heart attack back in 2017, and then once Coke or Pepsi, yeah. But once that hit, I went cold turkey. I dropped 20 pounds right off the bat from not drinking sodas. Sodas. Or is it pop in your area? Is it pop or is it soda? And and once I stopped drinking that, I dropped 20 pounds right off the bat. And then I went back to it a little bit later, and it just didn't taste the same. So I stopped drinking that soda up here. Gotcha. And it's different everywhere you go. Some people, we want the carbonation over it all. Coffee. They're getting close to that Canadian accent, eh? Bob and Doug McKenzie. But yeah, it's and then people are like, well, I don't have an accent. Yeah, you do. Especially those in Georgia, Tennessee. you know, you know it out and about. I gave up fast food and went from north of 270 to 230. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. That's always good because fast food is just chock full of stuff that you don't need. Absolutely, 100%. And it's just like people don't understand, you know, well, I'm taking a diet soda. Well, yeah, you're pickling your liver too because of the aspartame that's in the diet drink to make it actually taste like crap. Um, but now I want my diet soda. But I'll take my 3 cheeseburgers and my triple double large fry, please, with that diet soda. And I've got to lose some weight myself. I know it. And it's just me. I have a gym in my own home, and I don't use it. And I used to do a lot of stuff, but motivation to do that type of stuff whenever you're chopping wood, um, working on decks, and building stuff on a regular basis, you just don't want to go work out. You know, I'm so blessed to have game meat and not store injected meat. Exactly. That's why I want to get back into the. I can't even say that. I have a lifetime license for, hunting and fishing. So I hate Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi. I get that. But that's, some people just drink that because they think it's better for you than having a regular soda or a pop, you know, and, but it's not, Yes, the aspartame that I was talking about in it. And people just don't understand what that's doing to your body. And it's just like, dude, do that. You can just drop that completely. Go with some water. Get you some flavoring to put in it if you just can't stand plain water, you know, and drink up that. And you'll have some flavor in your water, and so it's not like you're drinking water, or make your brain think that you're not drinking water. Because what does water taste like? If it's filtered water that you filter yourself, it tastes like nothing. It's just wet. That's it. You know. But no, it's to each their own. Um, I know I need to drop a few pounds for my own health. Uh, I need to get back into working out so I'm not so sluggish and tired on a regular basis. And that's on me. And like I said, I have an in-home gym. We have a membership to a gym. We don't use it. Uh, and we always talk about it. We always talk a good game. Yeah, yeah. Aspartame's been around since the '70s, and but people still love that flavoring. Well, I got a pig that's up, so I'm gonna have to go. I do appreciate each and everybody being here, and much appreciated. But I gotta go take this pig outside before she does a number on my floor. You all have a great day, and we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.